All right, peace and black power, everybody. I want to welcome you to another episode of NCRBGZ Productions. Today we got a nice show set up for the family. We're gonna talk about the brother Quawan that was killed, the 15-year-old boy that was killed. We're gonna talk a little bit about that. We're gonna talk about Donald Trump and his Maga rally that was held today down there in DC. What was going on down there today, and whatever comes to mind. With that being said, family, like always, look, thumb up the video, like the video, share the video, leave a comment, let us know how y'all feeling, what you thinking, and you know, we try to be interactive with everybody. With that being said, I got some panel members up here. I want to give them the opportunity to unmute their mic and introduce themselves to the family.
Hello. Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, brother.
All right. Hey, Brother Stewart, how you doing tonight? Hey, I hope everybody's having a great night. Hey, this is Richard, the financial advocate coming out of Little Rock, Arkansas, and I am very enthused to talk about some of these topics tonight. So I can't wait, and let's get it started.
Good evening, family.
All right.
Good evening, family. This is Leonard Walker out of Greensboro, North Carolina. I'm the president of Descendants of American Slaves Political Action Committee, president of History Untold 400, and president of Descendants of American Slaves Incorporated. I'm into political strategies, voting blocks, that sort of thing. And I'm also into stocks and real estate as well. So good to be back. Good to be a part of this conversation. And I too look forward to the exchange and the exchange of information that's going to go on tonight. Peace and love, family.
And I think y'all, Brother Richard and Brother Leonard, I appreciate y'all taking the time out y'all busy schedule to be here also. We do have a couple more people that will be coming in. But with that being said, we're going to jump right in. I'm going to share my screen, family, and, you know, we're going to talk a little bit about what's been going on. What's been going on today. Hold up, that's the wrong thing. Y'all don't need to be saying that right there. All right, hold on. Let me share my screen again. And we're gonna start off with something I saw today when I was looking. I know that they said that Donald Trump had a rally today, and it was in Washington, D.C. I didn't see too much mainstream news about it, but at the same time, I don't watch mainstream news either. But I did see this on YouTube, so I wanted to play this clip, family, and we're gonna go from there. And we'll speak on it afterwards. USA! USA! Can y'all hear that? Y'all can hear it? Okay.
Yeah. Within minutes of the march beginning, and the fury of these hardline Trump supporters was boiling over. This remains a volatile situation in the heart of the Capitol, as frustration over the president's election defeat and belief that it was fraud collides with political reality. Thousands have now gathered here. This is by far the largest pro-Trump rally since Election Day, and a few counter-protesters tried in vain to make their voices heard.
Trump is a fascist white supremacist, and the vision they have for America is sending it right back to the times when they would string black people up from trees.
This rally is in fact a mix of militiamen, white supremacists, and the die-hard loyalists, including the Proud Boys, a fringe far-right group. And into this fraught situation came the president, his cavalcade traveling the few hundred meters from the White House. Donald Trump appearing to be reveling in the spectacle after a lonely week contemplating defeat. But there are questions about whether this sort of movement can be sustained. Will this be the last major effort to mobilize by Trump supporters, or will there now be 68 days of turmoil and protest between now and Inauguration Day? Do you think the president should concede, or is it premature?
I don't think so. I think we called it way too early. We need to stop watching the media and start getting the facts is what I think we need.
Is it time for him to concede, or should he fight on?
He should fight on and never give up.
That simple.
That simple. Never give up.
He should fight on. There's too much evidence of fraud. Too much. It's overwhelming.
No commies in the White House. No commies in the White House. Trump 2020, baby.
The president has shown no sign of acknowledging defeat, and buoyed by this support, he is likely to remain defiant.
4 more years.
Ignoring a transition that should by now be well underway.
4 more years.
The march moved up to Congress and to the Supreme Court. The White House suggesting 1 million people are on these streets, when in reality, it is far fewer.
USA! USA!
But this is a sign the divisions in America and the wounds of this election are here to stay. Robert Moore, ITV News, Washington.
All right, family. So that's one of the clips, family. You know, what is y'all thoughts, man? You know, they said close to 100,000 people that was out there. It was in the tens of thousands. They was marching today. They upset with the results of the election. And they out there, and you know, Donald Trump drove by, and he in the car, you know, egging them on. Like, what do y'all think about this, family? What is y'all thoughts? You know, I'll let y'all jump in.
Man, my first thought on it, just looking at that video like that, noticing how it wasn't no people with like guns and stuff. And I heard that they put in jail up there over 100 people with guns who had brought guns into the city. So, you know, people just expressing how they feel, I guess. And I looked at it as a homegoing parade for him, you know, his last big hoorah. So we'll just see how it go. I know in terms of me, where I'm at, and I was just expecting something, you know, just cause from the threat, from the debate, you know, just see what they was gonna do, cause they said stand by and, you know, stand by, whatever that was. So I've been expecting to see just what would happen, and he actually lost. So they it was like a bluff. It's like the bully. You know how the bully tell you, if you don't give me your money by 3 o'clock, I'm gonna beat you up after the school bell. That's how I felt we was with Trump. He just gonna bully us till 3 o'clock, and it's 3 o'clock, and you know ain't nobody doing nothing. So everybody bought their stuff, their guns, and it's 70 million mad. It's 40 million of us. So, you know, it's only 8 million Jews, you know. So we got to really look at the numbers and get together, because there's so many of us that we really a small nation if we really got our stuff together. But, man, ain't nobody serious. And like I said, I'm in Little Rock. It's a black city. And ain't nobody coming up here finna do nothing. Our problem is, you know, we got neighborhood problems. You know, I want to get over here and put our laundry out there, but man, I got more neighborhood problems than one of them. I don't even see none of them, to just really be honest, in the course of a day. I don't, but you know, we got a black mayor, black police chief. He been hiding information, so. You know, we got a whole bunch of, but we did have a cop get shot in Helena, Arkansas, and the cop was a black dude and a hero in town. So, it's just some of them brothers in them spots, actually good brothers, just in a bad area, trying to help the community. So, man, it's really pretty sad all the way around. But all we can do is keep going.
Okay.
Uh, Good evening, brothers and sisters. Yeah, this whole election at this point is kind of comical to me, anyway, because I really moved on I've moved on from Trump loss. People, there's evidence of fraud. There's evidence of this. Okay, so where is it at, right? And even if it is, here's the other thing. Even if it is, you can't convince me that Republicans didn't cooperate to try to get Trump out of office so that they could take the party back. So, hey, it's all politics. Bottom line is, with this march, I thought it was, I thought it was kind of hilarious. They call it the Million Maga March, right? I'm like, oh, so where did y'all get that from? So, and yeah, like I said, it was tens of thousands, but it wasn't millions. Okay, not like what happened October 16th, 1995. So like I said, is yeah, But here's my advice. All right, a lot of these guys out here that's upset don't really want that smoke, right? Don't engage these people. It's you see them. I drive through my neighborhood. I see people with still. There's a house. It's ridiculous. It's Trump Pence. They got a picture of Trump. Look like on Trump's face on Arnold Schwarzenegger's body with like for Commando and don't tread on me. And I mean these people. It's very cultish because there's mixed messages. How can you be American yet how can you be American but fly the Confederate flag, the U.S. flag, and a Nazi flag? So but you see that kind of stuff. See, so and then you have some Trump supporters that silently they look at, okay, nah, I don't like what I see over here. So end of the day, all of these radical people are kind of getting all the attention. That's going to dissipate. And we'll move forward. Trump right now, what they're saying he's trying to do is he's trying not to concede so that it goes to a vote in the Senate. I don't know how well that's going to work, right? Because like I said, it's December 14th. You have the actual election. What we just went through was the election to win the states. Okay, if you want these states, then you got these electoral votes. So the electors in the electoral votes will go and cast their votes based upon, the states they won, right? So that's the actual election, and then, September 20th would be the the inauguration. So we'll see how all of this works out. I'm like I said, I'm paying attention to other things. You can fool around and get caught up in the news cycle of what are they doing now? Or what are these guys doing now? I don't fear. We obviously, we're still under a pandemic, so I'm not going to be out in the street like that anyway. I limit my time out in the street anyway. But I don't fear, these people. Ain't nobody running up on me. I'm in North Carolina, but I was born and raised in Chicago. So, like I said, I'm not gonna get ran up on. Right. So like I said, is a lot of these people are angry. I mean, my thing is just leave them alone. Just leave them alone, keep it moving, figure out what our next strategy is gonna be. Trump, it's gonna be interesting to see what happens because one thing he's fighting not to go to jail. A lot of people don't realize, they say, oh, Trump is a terrible businessman because all his businesses fail. One thing you have to understand is Trump I believe, in the US intentionally tanks these businesses so he's not paying taxes, right? So, you know, I think maybe that has caught up with him. You know, you're tanking these businesses, you're taking all of the money out of it. The business doesn't make a profit. You get paid some type of way, all right? Or you're getting your money from all of your stuff overseas, all your properties overseas, whatever deals you got to make. So yeah. So like I said, it's you know, I think all of that kind of stuff is gonna get. He's getting ready to go through some stuff here, you know, after you know, as soon as he no longer is the president, you're gonna probably see some charges. But I'm glad to see many of his cabinet members go. Ben Carson now has coronavirus. You know, he got people, all of the people around him, you know, all of a sudden, you know, well, not all of a sudden, but, you know, coming up with corona. You see all of these red states. And then especially where they had, you know, college football games and stuff where, you know, one team beat somebody else, they rush in the field, got all of these kids out there, no mask, no. So, you know, people can think this is a joke. Trump himself said it wasn't a joke. He understood and knew the danger of this, yet and still he wants to play it down. Yet in his own words, he said, oh, wow, this is airborne. This is a pretty dangerous one. So you know how dangerous it is. And you're the president, you don't want to do anything. You know what? This time is up. So it's really time to move on and figure out what our next strategy is. Something interesting. I don't want to break topic. Something interesting I saw was now all of a sudden Black Lives Matters and some other groups are now going to the Biden camp saying, okay, we got you elected. Now here are our demands. Guess what, people? It don't work like that. They've lost their leverage. What leverage do they have? Number one, we already know Biden is not going to run for a second term. So he can ignore them for 4 years and the next person, you know, whatever. So all of this should have been doing, they should have been doing this before the election. See, this is what Cube was doing. A lot of people wanted to coon call Ice Cube, oh, he's trying to vote for Trump. He wasn't trying to vote for Trump. He was trying to vote for whomever was going to, or at least convince us, hey, let's vote for whomever is going to get us these things in this contract. He had something written on paper on a contract, because in business and politics, you know, the way it works is if it's not written down on paper in black and white, it don't exist. So they can tell you, well, what do you want? Well, we want this, this, this. Okay, I promise to give it to you. Then they get elected. Wait a minute, when did we say this? Oh, well, you remember you told us. I don't remember anything. So you don't have anything in black and white. So, but anyway, you know, I digress. But like I said, it's Trump. Yeah, like I said, it'll be interesting to see what happens. You know.
Okay. Yeah. Thanks, brother Leonard. We got two other people that just joined. I don't know if y'all want to unmute your mic and say something to the family. What we are talking about is the march they had in Washington D.C. today with Donald Trump and the Maga supporters. They had a march down there. It was like 10,000 people. You know, they got in a couple fights with some of the Antifa people. And, you know, that's what we're talking about now. Then we're going to move on to the next subject. But I wanted to get y'all input on that before we moved on. So y'all can unmute y'all mic and, you know, say something one by one if you would like to.
So peace, family. This Master U. A little bit late, but I caught the tail end of what Brother Richard was saying, and Brother Leonard. And I heard about, you know, people out there marching on Washington, whatever. I would just say for anybody with any sense, that ain't your fight. Stay out of it. You let them go and do. Stay out of that fight. Biden don't like you and Trump don't like you. They don't. You just a means to an end. It's like you go to work for your boss. You think your boss like you. Your boss really don't like you. You there to serve a purpose. And after that, you gone, you put somebody else in the slot. It's like you caring about your work at McDonald's. I mean, care about it because of your job, but it ain't the end all be all. And so my advice to people who smart, don't get involved. Let them. You let them two bears fight it out. And when they done, you make your move. But don't get in the middle of it, because everybody who got in the middle of that, that's like us, it doesn't end well. It never does. So stay far away from that stuff as you possibly can. And the second thing is, I think Brother Leonard was saying, when you see these people riding around with all type of whatever it is they going around with, all the stuff they be saying, and everybody got 60 guns and everybody marching around with guns, all this stuff that people are doing. Most people that I have learned in life, most loud people are really not really about nothing. They're not. It's the one that's sitting back there quiet, who not flying nothing. That's the one you need to worry about. But like he said, most of them people don't want smoke. Most of them don't. Most. That's the key word. Most. But someone waiting to knock your block off, and that's on both sides, whether it be black or white. But it ain't your fight, so stay out of it. That's my advice. Stay out of it, and I'm not saying we shouldn't be a part of politics. It's not what I said. But what they got on between black people claiming to be Democrats and all this, we go through history, black people were first Republicans, but I'm not going to go down that long chain. But we just really have to educate ourselves, like Ice Cube did. Who in here has the best interest for black people? Like who has the best interest at heart? Who does? And until somebody answers that, then there's nothing. I didn't hear Biden come up with anything, and I'm not just attacking him, but I asked this question plenty of times. What did Biden say he's gonna do for black people? I wait. I still don't know what Biden trying to do, except for what he's talking about with student loans. I'm not trying to be funny. I'm not tagging him. I have no clue. I have no clue what, I don't know. I don't know.
I
They pick
want
Kamala Harris as
to
his
help
running mate.
with that one.
Right.
I really want to help with that one.
Okay, I'm gonna say one more thing, Brother Richard. And I think here's my opinion. I could be very wrong. I think most black people didn't want to vote for Biden. I think they're voting for Kamala Harris. I'm sorry, pronouncing her name wrong. Kamala Harris. I think most black people, if you went to a HBCU, you went to a sorority or fraternity, all that stuff clicked with him. If it wasn't for that, I really do think Trump would have won. I really, really do. I honestly believe Trump really would have won if it wasn't for now. Whether you say Kamala Harris that's to each his own, but I think that was a smart strategy on Biden, because with that, I think he locked up a lot of black votes. But anyway.
Yeah, hey, I want to say on that not 50 Cent, Ice Cube in the platinum program. Yes, he did go there and he got something on paper. And the update on that, he is going to have this speech with this Jewish community who reached out to him, behind all of this. But I wanted to say Biden does have a plan, but this is the deal about the plan. What you need to do, number one, get your credit score together. Then you need to get a business, and you're going to get with the Small Business Administration and get some help with that business and some financial help with that business. That's the best thing that his program that I read through, that a person should be trying to really get themselves together so that they can go to the SBA with a business plan and get some of that low interest rate money. But get your credit score, and you got to have it a length of time up there, 6 months, but you need to start now so that you can go to the SBA, because that's where the money gonna be at, other than that student loan. And I'm too old for that. But that's where the money gonna be at, SBA.
Yeah, I think the Biden plan is called Lift Every Voices plan. And yeah, that's, student loans, that sort of thing. But here's the thing is there's already in place, all of these, many of these corporations and companies already have in place a diversity initiative, right? Where if you are, if you have a business and you're an MBA, a WBA, or disabled veterans, some sort of DBA registered business, okay, no matter what it is, okay, janitorial, a catering service, whatever, okay, lawn services. What a lot of people don't realize is at the manufacturing plant, you don't have to always be able to make tires or have a manufacturing plant to supply the manufacturing plant. You can have a business that supplies services. if you can cut grass, guess what? That manufacturing plant needs somebody to come and do grass, lawn service, snow removal, all of that kind of stuff. And they are looking for us because they get credits for that. That's already in place. So like I said, so I don't, like I said, I don't see anything. Here's the difference is there's a difference between demands and offers. Okay. And that's part of our problem is we've been settling for what somebody's been offering us instead of getting what we've been demanding. And reason why we're not getting what we're demanding, there's 4 things we need to do between now and 2024. We need to organize, unify, strategize, and execute. Okay. That organized part is really organize and unify. That's the part that, because had Q probably had, because the way politics works is it's about numbers. So you're going to meet with people. If you don't have something saying, I got this many voters, I got this much campaign dollars, okay, behind you, when they ask those questions, they'll listen and they'll say, okay, thank you very much. And they'll just lead you right out the door because they know that you're not, you don't have anything that really, because they, being at this ice cube, say, okay, here's a celebrity, let's hear what he has to say. All right. And then once they start seeing the numbers, okay, well, okay, so he ain't got nobody, so we can continue on. And that's how they do, right? So that's, like I said, had we organized behind that and got both of them to sign, say, listen, because that's what you really want to do, say, hey, I'm not going to commit to no votes until you tell me how you're going to make this happen, or get with the other one and say, hey, because it's not one or the other, it's both. We want both of them to sign the contract with Black America. So when one of them wins, no matter which one wins, we win. So like I said, that's how you make people compete. That's, like I said, that's a different show. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But yeah, go ahead, brother Haru.
Well, no, I want Sister Rihanna, the Queen. We want her to get in here. We gotta let the Queen get in here, see what her perspective is on everything.
Mm-hmm.
Peace to the Queen.
Peace, everybody's Raina. And I just want to piggyback off what the brother Richard said, that I don't think it's our fight. I totally agree with you. I co-sign, I concur, all of that good stuff. I don't think it's our fight. I think we need to stay out of it, although I already told you, Seth, you already know my views are more conservative. So my actual views align more with the GOP in terms of policy, in terms of anti-abortion, in terms of traditional marriage, those type of things. But with that being said, I can't really say I align with Democrat or Republican. But the Antifa, from what we've seen, they have sabotaged our movements too. Like even what we've seen where they were spray painting the BLM on the walls and then blaming it on us, and coming from the white areas and coming to the Black areas and tearing up the neighborhoods, and then we take the fall for it. So I don't align with too much the leftist party. I won't say I align with the Republican Party either, even though my views are conservative. But I don't think that we need to get involved in that. I think we need to be strategizing right now. I don't think that really this is our fight. I agree with what Richard said. And the what's these other people you were saying with the Republicans? You said it was Antifa fighting with what's the other people?
The
Proud Boys, right?
Proud Boys.
So on the one hand, you have your covert racists. You have your covert racists, right? That's the leftist party, the Liberal Party, the Democrat. Then you have your overt racists, which is the far right, the alt-right. We don't have a dog in this fight. So it's like, yeah, I agree with what he said. This is not really anything that we need to partake in. We just need to do our own thing, strategize, and think about ways that we can make us better instead of getting tied up in this whole, I'm not saying that policy isn't important, but in terms of this is just not something that we really need to be a part of right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hey, Brother Ken, do you want to jump in and say anything?
Not at the moment, Stuart.
Oh, okay, brother. All right. Well, I concur with all y'all. If you actually pay attention to history, that's why they say history repeats itself, nothing new under the sun, right? Because if you look at the first Civil War that was fought, they used slavery, quote unquote, as the reason for the war. And what they did was they got black folks to fight on both sides of the war. You had some black folks that wanted to fight the end slavery, fought for the Union, some that fought against the Union, right? So they used our pain and suffering to concord a civil war, and we think it's fighting for slavery, but at the end of the day, they're not fighting to end or disband slavery. They're fighting for which side gonna control us, right? Which side is still gonna be our master, right? Fast forward to right now, right? Antifa and the right and the left is using our struggle and our fight for injustice with the police and the system, and now they're trying to hijack that movement and use it to fight their internal war, which is this civil war that is going on within America. And y'all perfectly right. We should stay on the outside and we really don't have a bone to fight in this fight. But on one aspect, we have a big bone that we have to fight in this fight. And it's dealing with finances. Because finances, and when people get fed up with the direction of the country and they're financially broke, you have civil war. And see, this is what's going on right now. A lot of and I don't want to turn this into a financial show, but I know it's going to go there. But a lot of these white Americans that was in this middle class that was having that buffer zone for the longest are now with us. They're out of that middle class because the middle class has been destroyed. And now they're in the lower class and they don't know how to survive. We had to survive like this all along. So we've been at the bottom and we know how to take, as they would say, 2 fish and a loaf of bread and feed 5,000, right? Because we've been here for so long. We've been living off the crumbs for so long that we know how to survive. They, on the other hand, they don't. So what they doing? They're blowing their heads off. They're killing everybody. They're killing the family, committing suicide because they're not used to being in this situation and they don't have the internal fortitude that we have to keep fighting. So I want to play something though, because it is a bigger picture looming. It's a bigger picture looming when it comes to this financial situation that's going on in America, and it's leading to civil war. And now the thing is this: financially, we need to be involved because financially, we are at the bottom. Financially, we're not in no situation really. When it comes to finances, we have to get ourselves in a better situation. Well, I'm gonna play this video. I'm gonna see my on screen, and I'm gonna play this video real fast. And it's actually talking about this same thing. And I'm only gonna play like a minute of it. I want y'all to listen to what they say.
If they keep
Can y'all hear that?
Yeah, I can hear.
Were y'all able to hear that?
Yep.
Okay, let me go back a little bit because I want y'all to hear this. All right, here we go.
Let's go right to the clip.
I do know one thing though. If they keep doing what they're doing, which is just trying to inject liquidity to solve this solvency problem, further exacerbating the income disparity, we run this 10 standard deviation, 20 standard deviation risk of a breakdown in democracy.
Yeah.
And I told that to the New York Times back in 2017. said, I'm not scared of the left tail. I'm not really scared of the right tail. I am scared that they take this experiment and keep going, and they create a tail risk that you cannot hedge, which is complete civil unrest.
Yeah.
And we are now beginning to see that. That's your real risk of the political risk. And that's also how it can end. You can have a war, or you can have a social revolution.
But remember, we've gone from trying to.
Now I don't know if y'all listen to Chris Cole and if y'all follow him or not, but I'm gonna just tell y'all, it's somebody to listen to when it comes to this financial situation that we in. But I think Martin Luther King said that riots are the voice of the voiceless or the unheard, right? With this financial situation that is going on in America, civil war and civil unrest is inevitable. Now, if anybody watched the show that we done on NCRBGZ like 4 to 5 months ago, we was talking about what happens when you have a pandemic like the coronavirus. It's steps to this, how this stuff plays out. And the end game is civil unrest. That's the end game. Now, I can go back to the show or just go to NCRBGZ and watch it, and we talk about the steps. What happens when you have a pandemic and how it goes from a pandemic to civil unrest. And we are watching this play itself out, family. Right? So we have to get our finances in order. And what's going on is we got a lot of people now that's in the same boat that we in. And they drowning. And we still swimming though. We swimming. We might not be in a boat with a motor, but we paddling. They ain't got no life. They ain't got no life on there, so they just drowning because they not used to it. And this is what we're seeing that's playing out in America today. And this is what is going to continue playing itself out until this financial and this wealth gap close. And every once in a while, you have to have a reset. Something has to reset this stuff to put everybody back on a even playing field and start all over again. Anybody want to jump in?
Yeah. This Master You. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying, brother Set. But at the end of the day, I am of the firm belief that there will always be a rich and a poor, and there's nothing you could do about it. And a lot of it is because of the mindset of the people. But we can come and you can educate. You can give somebody $6 million. If the education right and the mind not right, the mentality of them, if it's not together, that money will be gone. So the big thing that needs to happen is a mindset. There will always be wealthy and there will always be poor. What we have to charge ourselves to do, or people as an individual, is charge yourself and say, what does it take for me in order to reach that particular level of financial freedom, whether that be through stocks, real estate, you starting your own business, you owning land, or a combination of all those things. And with that being said, this is just my opinion, my perspective. It's not for everyone. I think every person, especially Black people, your family should be ran like a corporation. Now, I'm not saying that you don't have love and, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this: you got a CEO and you got workers, et cetera, et cetera. And when you sit down at the table to break bread with your family, you should all be planning your next moves. Most of these big corporations know what they're going to do 10, 15 years from now. They already designed the stuff that we haven't even seen yet. So when you sit down with your kids and your husband, your wife, and niece and nephew, and grandma, that family should have a plan. They should have a plan laid out on what they're going to do and how they're going to make things work. That's just my particular perspective. That is the way that we can get away from being in the lower end and push ourselves up to the higher end. And also, with that being said, a lot of our family members or our closest friends, they may not want to go with you. And that's something we have to accept. Everybody not going to be in a boat with you on your financial journey or your journey with, obtaining knowledge of self. Sometimes the people that we want to bring along with us the most, they just not with it. They comfortable being where they are. And it's unfortunate to say, but you have to get to a point where you are okay with that. You do. But I really believe that the one of the major factors to all of this is for us specifically Black people. We have to really educate our kids. In your house, educate your kids and educate yourself. And I'm not knocking anybody what they watch on TV. I watch TV, but let it be something educational. What do your kids know about science? What do your kids know about math? How your people invent math and you flunk in math? That don't add up to me. You get what I'm saying? Like, how are these other people out here designing new things? Why come your kids can't design? Why can't you design nothing? Why can't they read a book on finance? These are the things that we should be teaching people in our household. So when our kids turn 10, 11, and we should be investing for our kids. I've heard Brother Richard talk about this. Open your kids a custodial account. And that money that you blowing on Jordans, no disrespect, I'm not knocking nobody with Jordans. I'm not knocking nobody with Jordans. I know some people might want to attack for that. But buying Jordan shoes is not an asset. That's a liability. But what you could do is take that money and buy you a stock and make sure that your kids got dividends forever by owning this company. And you put that money in for them every single month. Then you start educating them. This is what you do with that money. And you teach them how to work that money at a very young age. To me, that is the key for Black people to get out of a poverty state into having more of us reach a state to where we're financially free. And you don't have to be a millionaire to be financially free. You don't have to be a millionaire. That's just my piece.
All right, bro. I think Brother Saru hit upon some things that people really need to pay attention to. And that is what I like to call it is what we're seeing is an attack on white privilege, which is really an attack on white exclusivism, right? What is white exclusivism? White exclusivism is I want my own space to practice my own culture, all right, to do my own thing. And I don't want none of these other people, or maybe a couple of them that, are some good old boys that we could trust, or somebody that I can scapegoat, right? But for the most part, our culture, our way of life, our jobs, our schools, all of this, all right, it's, we wanted to call it segregation. I call it exclusivism because they want to exclusively have their own society for themselves, which is fine. That's cool. But problem is they want to take all of the resources with them. So I want all of these resources to support my exclusivism to where I can be successful and I can have this and I can have that, right? And everybody else not have anything, or they're on their own, they have to make it for themselves. Kind of hard to make it for yourself if you already control all of the resources. So what you're seeing, all right, and there has been talk of this, is with with manufacturing leaving. And manufacturing is not so much leaving as you're starting to get more automation, right? People are being replaced by robots in manufacturing plants, all right? You don't need as many people. Now you don't need 500,000 workers no more. Now you need is 150, 200, okay? Less than that, because everything else is done by robots, right? And that is spread not just in OEM manufacturers, but to the tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. This is no longer a manufacturing nation. We are now service and information, right? I mean, you see Uber, Lyft, all of these are services, right? Airbnb, that's a service, okay? Facebook, that's a service, right? So we're going into a service economy, and there's pushback from these communities. Hey, we want the tire factory to remain. We want the axle factory to remain. Well, guess what? It might be here, but we won't need 500 people no more. All right, we'll just need 50 because everything else will be run by robots and machines. So all of this is to do what? To set up a situation where you have people receiving a monthly stipend, okay? So what does that mean? A monthly stipend means you no longer are an exclusive group. You might still kind of live in your own little neighborhood or whatever, but guess what? You can't afford all of that anymore. So now you're gonna have to downsize. Or what's gonna happen is you're gonna get more people moving into your community. You're getting ready to start truly having an integrated society. America is not integrated, right? America is a society of communities and neighborhoods. So with this stipend and loss of jobs, where okay, maybe these people work part-time, or maybe these people, people are fighting for $15 an hour, minimum wage. Some places do it, some places don't. Either way, if you go to a $15 an hour minimum wage a job, the 50 people that work at McDonald's will now dwindle down to about 10 or 15, right? So that's 40, 35 people out of work, right? And it's going to compound. It's going to continue to compound. So government stipends, what is that? That's when, okay, some of these tax dollars, we're going to pay these people so that they don't riot, so that they can be dependent upon the government. So this is the thing that these people fear, right? They fear, oh no, that's socialism. Oh no, if I get this stipend, I won't have my exclusivity anymore. All right, I won't have my exclusivism. All right, my culture is going to get invaded. I'm going to be next door to somebody that's going to be saying Allahu Akbar, or somebody that's going to be, speaking Spanish, or I'm going to be listening to rap music. And my Christian faith, the way I want to do it, is not. See, so you're looking at people resisting the future, resisting a change within life, right? And or a change in culture, and they're going to fight tooth and nail, hard as they can. But the truth of the matter is, even in their exclusive neighborhood, you still have that upper class, all right, that elite class that controls everything, right? So these people want the turmoil in the middle and the lower classes, because if you can these people are focusing on things that really that matter, but really are kind of trivial, then this upper class, they can continue with this financial knowledge, wealth continue to make wealth, money continue to make money, income, compound interest, just continually making the money. This is the rich is getting richer and the poor getting poor. That's because we ain't paying attention. So we as a people, and I like what the sister has conservative values. I have conservative values as well, but I'm not attached to a party. See, so that's how we can have liberal values, all right, and not be attached to a party, right? So what we have to do is we have to come to the realization about certain things, okay? And that is, we have to ask our question, do we truly want to build wealth, all right, and create a legacy of wealth for our children? It is entirely possible, or we just fine with just being ghetto fabulous. See, that's kind of where we are, is, I'm good, as long as I can remain ghetto fabulous, I can, go out here and show people I got a PS5, and I can show people I got the newest Xbox, or I got these rims, a lot of materialism, a lot of things that are costing you money and not making you money, right? I think the latest joke now, or the latest meme is if the price of a PS5, here we go. So if the cost of it or the price of a PS5 is higher than your credit score, you don't need to buy one, right? Really, you can't afford one, right? See, so it's getting that credit score up, and we have to do things like say in phases, right? One of the things I talk about is the $1,000 a year challenge. Some people have never saved money before. Many of us never saved money. So what's the easy way? Hey, take a $20 bill out of what you make a week, and what you make, however you get paid, $20 a week. So if you get paid twice, bi-weekly, then take $40. But either way, take $20 bill, put it somewhere nobody knows, right? At the end of the year, you'll have $1,040, right? So these are easy ways. It's hard to understand how to invest if you don't know how to save, if you don't understand cost versus value. That PS5 costs this much, but really, is it worth that much? Or what is it that you're trying to do? If you're trying to, build wealth, then you might have to say, listen, I might have to go over here to CVS and get some of these $10 video joysticks, right, for the kids to play from back in the 1980s, right? You know, hey, that's what, you know, well, I got, you know, all of these kids, you know, all of this stuff is currency to these young people. See, so like I said, is, yeah, the brothers, you know, that's what, you know, they are doing. What are we doing? Okay, how are we doing this stuff? So that's what we got to focus on. Go ahead, brother.
You know, I look at this thing from see, like with America, we import everything. See, like America, we don't make nothing no more, and this is a problem with America and the dollar being the global currency. See, when you have a global currency, that is the dollar, right? In America, right? So we have the global currency. So for these other countries, when they have problems, how can we circulate our dollar to help them do better? You know what the United States started doing? We started buying their products. So we started importing products. So that's why America, we import way more than we export, because all we do we consume. We are consumers. And by having this global currency, and it used to be that the Fed would prop up the currency when money was low. Now it's the governments that's doing it. So you don't went from the banks doing it, and now the governments is doing it. But this whole thing of us exporting, just bringing stuff in, and we're not really shipping that much out, because we're trying to keep this dollar as the world currency. And this is the biggest problem right here, family. This is it in a nutshell, family. The American dollar as the world currency is crippling America. So what Trump was trying to do was he wanted to, quote unquote, tax these countries for sending their stuff in here and make them pay more to help strengthen us.
Right.
But we didn't see that. In other countries, it's like, well, no, we're gonna stop using the dollar. We're gonna stop using the petrodollar, right? I done a video where I talk about that petrodollar. We gotta look into it. You know, we're gonna stop dealing with the petrodollar. But for America, this dollar to stay the world currency, America has to be to a point where we do all the importing. We import goods, and we really don't produce too much. And that's the problem what's going on with us in America. So when you talk about jobs, McDonald's, Burger King, giving people raises, they're already putting machines in there where you can order online. You don't even have to use tellers. When you go to Walmart, self-checkouts. See, a lot of these stores are already moving to the point where they are getting, so they don't even have to have people in. Listen, I went into one store, and you know, how they wax the floor. They got a machine that waxes the floor, and you don't have to control it. You plug it in, put the information in, and it goes on its own, and it waxes the floor. So it's like they are removing us out of the work because we're not producing nothing. When you don't produce it, you just consume. You don't need workers. All you need is bodies. You need bodies to keep consuming, to keep feeding this machine. The machine is getting broke, family. And this is where you have a lot of this, like they just had a meeting. See, I'll be paying attention to stuff like this. I don't know about y'all, but they just had a meeting with the IMF. They just had this major meeting with the IMF and the banks talking about going into a digital form of currency. They just had a meeting in September about this, the IMF, and they talking about how they have to go forward with moving into a digital currency and the benefits of it. Like, this is what they're talking about right now, family. They're talking about banks having their own. Like, this is where they're headed with this because of the quote unquote corona, but I don't think it's because of the corona. They using it as a scapegoat to go somewhere. But this is what we have to pay attention to, family. We really have to pay attention to this. And as far as a reset, you realize every 150, you have resets in countries. You have resets with the wealth I'm talking about. it comes to a point where the people will just riot and say, you know what? They give up hope. And they seeing it in China's places where people just killing themselves. Men, 30s, working in IT firms, got good jobs and lose their 401k and just kill themselves. They can't take it because people lose hope. And once people start losing hope and start withdrawing from the system, where we're not even gonna vote. We ain't voting, we ain't a part. Once people start doing that, that means they are disgusted. And once people get disgusted on a level, they're gonna fight and say, we'd rather die than live like this. Either this gonna change or we're gonna die. And what we know about our counterparts is this. And when you study their history, they willing to die. They are willing to say we're going to war and we all gonna die unless something gonna change. Right. Now, that's all I'm looking at. I'm looking at like, yo, this stuff, it may not happen now, but it look like it's headed that way. They trying to fix it. They're gonna try to fix us with these stimulus checks. You know, Brother Leonard is talking about it. They're trying to get us so now where the government is gonna start sending us. See, the government already sent a certain percentage of us money anyway. You know, get first of the month checks, EBT. You know what I'm saying? It's just real, family. It is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So some people are already just getting this free money. So you got a certain percentage of the society that's getting free money every month to live free, eat free, shit free, just live for free. They have to get us all on that page. And this is where most of this resistance is coming from. Because some people don't want you to control me. I don't want your money in exchange for control. No, I want my freedom, right? So, and this is the conundrum we in, family. I think we need to move this on to the next subject.
Well, brother, before you go there, real quick, I just want to say one quick thing. Is if we are moving digital, most people now, you know, when they go pay for something, they pay for things online. They're not using cash, they're using their card, online banks, et cetera, et cetera. But I will say this: it is important, at least from my perspective, that the dollar always stay floating or something of that nature. The reason why I say that is the moment that the dollar is gone, all of your privacy is eradicated. It's done. You are easily tracked. There ain't nowhere for you to hide because everything now is digital. Everything now is digital. They know if when you bought something, they know if you went to work, and you know sometimes people don't really make much money, so they pay them under the table. All that's gone, man. If you in any type of group or whatever it is, and the government, somebody they don't like you, everything is trackable. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm all for the digital currency, but I also think that dollar should still keep that out there. And
they already got the digital dollar.
Oh, I know. I've heard people, you know, different banks and stuff are doing things with cryptocurrency. I mean, I've seen.
No, I'm telling you. No, listen. I'm giving you inside information right now, bro.
I don't.
At this IMF,
I agree with you. I don't disagree.
At this IMF meeting, their whole purpose is to keep the dollar as the world currency. Right. That's the whole purpose, is to keep the dollar as the world currency, but keep it digital.
But I'm saying,
so they already have one. Go ahead.
No, I'm saying mad at it being digital, but what I am saying is the paper in your hand. The but paper in your that's what I'm saying.
Disappear. That's starting 2021. Starting next year, you're gonna see a big move. There's places now that don't even accept dollars right now, as far as dollars. And even when you dealing with the credit cards, like the credit cards, that's really like a digital form of money.
Right, I agree.
Because it's not hand to hand. It's just that what is perceived to be in your bank account is covered by, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people get paid, they get direct deposit. So it's still digital. It's not, most people don't have hard cash on them no more. You have some.
I agree with that. What
majority of the people don't.
But what I'm saying is
this is another reason why Trump talking about getting these illegal immigrants out. This is all part of the game to stop. Like if you don't have a social security card, you don't have a social security number, This is all part of their game. They're gonna get to a point where this physical money they're giving us is gonna be gone. And they're trying to figure out how the dollar, or what we perceive as the dollar, can still be the world dominant currency in a digital era. This is what they're moving to.
Right. So everything you're saying, I agree with. But what I'm saying is the actual cash dollar. Let me specify one. Cash. To me, cash should always be here. Yeah, I mean, I agree. It's probably it's ain't gonna be here too long. But what I'm saying, when everything becomes digital, then there's nothing private. All your privacy is gone. And some people can argue and say it's all gone now. I mean, I get that. But what I'm saying is, if
that's what
that dollar,
is for.
that dollar, with some people paying you under the table, or certain things you may get, different things you may do with your friends, whatever. Like, you giving up cash, you can't do that stuff no more, man. I really do. I really do. I think eventually the digital dollar will end up is going to hurt people. It really is. Because imagine if you have a job, you don't make enough money for insurance, and you in that one of those type of situations, and people usually pay you underneath the table. They can't do that stuff no more. They can't do it. And then some people can argue whether it's right or wrong.
Let's look at something worse than that. Let's say if they got a mandatory vaccine, and you don't want to take their mandatory vaccine,
they know where you
all got digital wallets, right?
Yeah,
so that means all our money is controlled by the digital wallet. And if you don't take the vaccine, that means that they're not going to release no funds to your digital wallet. So therefore, you're not going to have no way of paying anything. You're not going to have a way of doing anything unless you do what they want you to do, because everything will be digital. It's not about money. It's about control.
That's exactly my point.
The facade is they only care about is being able to control us and watch everything we do and make us do what they want us to do without any resistance. You can't fight back. You can't say, I'm not going to do this, because they're going to control every aspect of us. And this is what the end game is. The end game is complete control of us, like we're basically robots, and we have to do what they want us to do. And if we don't do it, we're not going to be able to survive. We're not going to be able to eat. We're not going to be able to work. We're not going to be able to do anything, because they're going to have total control.
Right.
This is also why some of these other blockchains is going to be key, because that's going to be your, what we would call it today. In today's world, they call it the black market, right? Mm-hmm. Wherein you do stuff and it's not on paper. Well, that's what some of these other blockchains is going to be for in the future. And they already know it, and they're trying to weave that stuff out right now. But I agree with you, though. It's going to be a hard fight to really get rid of the physical dollar. It's going to be real hard, but they're already working on it. They're coming up with reasons why you don't have it.
Yeah, I would say
and stuff like that.
Yeah, man. So there's germs everywhere. You get germs from touching. You get germs from touching the door. To me, I mean, I've heard a lot of people say that, and I know some people say the government may say that. Well, coronavirus spread by X, Y, and Z. This stuff is airborne, man. Like the flu and all this stuff is airborne. Whether you got a dollar, don't have a dollar, you can just walk outside of your mailbox and catch something. I don't think nothing like just handling a sheet of paper is really gonna be that big of a difference. You know what I'm saying? I think they even found out that 70% of people who wear masks still caught the virus. So, but anyway, I digress. I think it's real. I don't think it's fake. But anyway, to say that. But my what you proved my entire point. It is about power control, and that's what I'm saying. When physical things are no longer available to you, when everything exists in space, then they have complete and utter control over everything that you do. Everything that you imagine. If you owe somebody some money, you want to get on a payment plan, that person can tell you no and take all your money out of the bank, seize everything in your account. Then that leaves you with nothing at all. Leaves you with nothing at all, man. So, but anyway, go ahead, my brother.
Y'all, I wanted to talk about this, something that Ask Master, you wanted to bring this up. I'm gonna play a video. It's about this brother, 15-year-old brother, down here that was killed. I'm gonna play the video, family, and we can talk about it. Y'all let me know if y'all hear this. Let's see. Yeah. Can y'all hear this?
Yes.
Okay.
I've been crying throughout the day. I wake up in the middle of the night crying. I'm missing my son. I'm missing his smile. I'm missing his little jokes. My son has a big knot on his head, so it's obvious that someone hit him in the head with something.
They still have not showed us exactly where Quawan was in what creek, by what field. We don't know. We can't even go and put up a little cross or something in the area where he was found at. We don't know. They're being very discreet.
I want the lady that can't get my son without my permission and his dad's permission to be held accountable.
That's right.
You cannot just take somebody's son, bring him to your house, and not be held accountable for them because he was in her custody. So now he's dead. He left here alive and well, and now he's dead when he went to Laurelville to her house.
All right, family. I wrote an article on this actually. As a blog I wrote on November the 11th, dealing about the family demand answers in the death of 15-year-old boy, Quawan Charles. It's a sad situation, man. It's a sad situation, and you know, let me tell all over again. You know what y'all want to say? Y'all can chime in on this, man. I post the article on the page. You can come here, you can see it, and read it. But y'all can chime in, man. It's just sad to me. And the worst thing about it is this stuff happens so much that we become numb to it. And you know, we just go on about our day and just keep living our life. And stuff like this is really it's demonic. And you know, but y'all jump in, man.
This Master You, I'm gonna say something, and after that, I'm gonna let it go. You know, when you play the video, I just kind of turned because I can't bring myself, to watch it. Seeing that stuff, it makes me have, it makes me feel a certain type of way. It makes me have very harsh feelings, man. And the issue and problem is this world is about, if we don't tell you, man, this world is about to explode with hate, man. It really, really is about to explode with hate. And the big thing of it is much of it will be justified. Much of it will be very, very justified, but for a lot of people. You know, imagine if that's one of your kids or your niece or your nephew, and you found out who did it. You enraged with hate. What can somebody tell you about not doing something? There's nothing nobody can say to you. There's nothing. I don't even know what I would do in a situation. I don't know. I can speculate and whatever, but I don't know what I would do in a situation, man. So if you have loved ones, love your loved ones, hug them and cherish them as much as you can, because you don't know. You can have all the guns in the world, but you don't have a million eyes all around all the time. You don't know. Your kids go to school. You don't know. All you can do is teach them the best that you know how. Try to monitor who they're hanging around, et cetera, et cetera. That's just I would never want to be in that family situation, because I don't know what I don't know what I would do. I don't know. And that's the part that scares me, man. Because I don't know. I can say what I think I know I would do. You know, and I done been in shootouts before and all type of stuff, but I don't know if somebody took something that valuable away from me, how I would react. I don't know. And so with that being said, there's a lot of hate brewing, man. It's a lot of hate brewing. And if it does not stop, what you're gonna find out is that the sheep gonna band together and the sheep gonna eat the wolf. Them sheep won't be no sheep no more. They're gonna transform into something else. And when they transform into something else, it's not gonna be pretty. It's gonna be a very, very sad day, man. So my heart and stuff go out to his family, and whoever did this, I don't care what color they were. I think somebody should tie them up and throw them off a 1,000-foot roof. And when they hit the ground, take them right back up there, throw them off again, and put them right back there and throw them off again. You should never in your life do something like that to no child. Point blank, period. That's my piece.
All right, family. This is my first time really hearing about this story, because sometimes I fade in and out of the news. This is a tough situation. Right now, we want to assume that it's an Emmett Till type situation and assume that this was racially motivated because of the tension that we have, but we just don't know. So we have to, there has to be more information and more evidence, and more things have to come out of this. But this speaks to a bigger issue for me. And, I'm on several radio shows, and what I'm gonna say is not gonna be politically correct. And some people may not like it, but the truth is the truth, and you have to have the courage to go where the truth takes you. We have a vacuum at the top of our community, and that vacuum is not, it's a vacuum because you have men that are missing from our communities. You have males that are there, right? But you don't have a cohesiveness of men that are leading in our communities. Why is that important? No one should be able to come and pluck any of the children out of our community. People need to, there has to be a fear of going into our communities and taking or doing something to our children. People, their retribution, examples, all of that kind of stuff has to happen, right? And that takes men. I'm sorry, ladies, I don't want to be offensive, but that is our role. We are the warrior. We are the vanguard. We sleep by the door to meet whomever comes in, right? So that's our role. That's who we are. And statistically, we've been falling away. We're not family building. And if you don't family build, you don't community build. Plain and simple. It's just that easy. 27% marriage rate. 8 out of 10 of our children born out of wedlock. 60% raised in, over 60% raised in single mother homes. Not to say that the father is not there. And I want to say something like, of those 60%, 50%, the father is not involved at all. Okay, so, you have a diminished family structure. I mean, if you think about a car, right, a 4-cylinder car, right, and you look at our marriage rate, 20, that's like trying to drive a 4-cylinder car with 1 cylinder. Okay, it's just not, you don't have any power. you're not going to go anywhere, right? You're going to be stuck, right? So this is where we are with things like this, okay? Is whether it's some of our kids doing this kind of stuff, somebody else, it has to be unthinkable. People, you look at, Arab communities, you look at some of these other, ain't nobody going up in, that's one thing you talk about, the Arab community or, either in America or wherever, all right, around the world. Whatever they believe, whatever their value system is, you draw a picture of Muhammad as a character, they are going to try to kill you because that's what they believe, right? So trying to pluck their children out of the community, oh no, that's just not going to happen, right? And if it does happen, somebody's going to pay, right? There is no consequences for plucking our children, all right? Whether it's, choking somebody out with your knee or shooting somebody for jogging or, talking back to the police or whatever, okay? There are no consequences. We're letting the wicked system that, that allows this to happen. We're looking for that wicked system to provide justice. Sometimes things just need to happen. As a warrior, sometimes people just need to be dealt with, and an example needs to be made. I served in Korea in the U.S. Army. There was a gate, a little town called Anyang, all right, where my barracks was. There was a little gate that was blocked off, right, when I was there. Okay, it's no longer blocked off now, but it's a little gate blocked out. We were forbidden from going out of that gate into that town. Why? Because a soldier was raping some of the Korean girls and young ladies, all right, in that town. And those Korean men caught that soldier, cut his genitals off, put them in his mouth, and hung him for him to, and because of the status of Armed Forces Agreement, we couldn't go in and do anything. So you know what they did is we could not go into that that community because those men made it absolutely clear we're not going to have our women being raped by foreigners or strangers in our land or in our community. I'm not advocating violence, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I can't tell you, I have nephews, I have nieces, one day I'm gonna have a grandson, hopefully. And I'm gonna tell you like this, if something happens, all right, to one of them, I can't tell you what I would do. The warrior in me, I need to find, and I'm gonna be devious about it. I'm gonna find out, oh, did somebody, and they didn't do, okay, I'm gonna be sneaky and devious, and I'm gonna catch them, and they're gonna be gone, right? And I'm, like I said, I'm not advocating murder. I'm just telling you how I am, right? And we need more of that because it should be unthinkable. Oh, we can ready to go. No, that's not a good idea. Whoever, let's go and mess with some, just like, white boys going up into our churches, shooting up our elderly. That never needs to cross, they can cross their mind, but it never needs to manifest into action, right? Because there has to be dire consequences for that kind of stuff. So that's kind of where I'm gonna go with this. Like I said, is hopefully, we find out what happened. This is kind of like a James Byrd type situation, worse than a James Byrd situation, where, he got drugged behind a pickup truck in Jasper, Texas. The Emmett Till, kind of funny. There was a show on HBO called Lovecraft Country, and it was in Chicago. They were showing it where it was in Chicago, and they the Emmett Till story. They, one of the episodes, man, if you've seen it, the Emmett Till story with the little girls and all that. Well, that kind of hit home for me because my grandmother knew Mamie Till. She knew Emmett Till's mother, and when they did the open casket funeral, my grandmother took my father told me this, took my father to go see Emmett Till, and he said, as a child, he's seen a long line of people. He didn't know what was going on. Finally, when he got up to the casket, he looked at it. He said he would never forget it. It was etched in his mind. He said he saw a body that looked like a monster, right? And when he looked at my grandmother looked at him and said, "This is what they will do to you." Okay. So, and that's a situation where we had men in the community, but he was off somewhere else. He was in the South from Chicago, he down in Mississippi. And they were running roughshod. Okay. That needed to be it. There needed to be no more Emmett Tills. Okay. But we're having them. Young men getting lynched. That would be could be considered, he was drowned, he was beaten, drowned. That is a lynching. Okay. Any type of mob justice, people think about, oh, well, he wasn't hung from a tree. No. Any type of mob justice where somebody's burned, they're mutilated, they're beaten to death, drowned, shot up, whatever, by a group of people and the body's just found. That is a lynching when it comes to us because of the motivation it happens. So like I said, is we have to grow family building. All right. Our young men, okay, build families, protect families, and young men when into manhood, we need to connect with other men and be like, hey man, I got your back, you got mine. Second Amendment. Hey, get strapped, plain and simple. All right, they strapped. Don't listen to these people talking about with somebody going and praying. No, get you a strap. All right, do what you got to do to get one and get one to protect yours, because it's like insurance. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it.
Hey man, I like to chime in on it because I've been watching this story all day, and it's like what you guys say, and it's a bigger picture. And as a married man, I've been married 30 years. I had 5 children, all of them, grew up. But we my house was always like the house where kids came. And I knew a lot of them single mothers, it was a lot of that, but I knew a lot of parents too and just went through stuff, the 80s and 90s was what it was. But I would just say right now, with all we know, the MAGA people mad, everybody mad, it's just really smart to keep your eye on your family right now. That's just the bottom line. I mean, you don't need another incident to happen to tell you, to protect your seed. I mean, so like I say, I've been through it. I had 3 boys, 2 girls. I mean, I never let them go over nobody's house. I never did that because I had, any child could come over and find a kid in their age group to play with at my house. So I just never had that kind of problem. And I couldn't imagine it. And I know exactly what I would do if somebody did anything to me. And I can tell you exactly, because when my brother passed away, I left the job today and told my wife I was gone. Because my brother lived that kind of life, and I was finna go to Little Rock and find out what happened. So I know exactly what I would do. And maybe we do need more people like that, but at the end of the day, so you won't have to do that. I can't imagine my one of my children at 15 even going nowhere. I mean, I just couldn't even imagine that. You know what I'm saying? We took them, or that's just how we did it though. But man, I know you have to do what you got to do, and it's a sad story. But right now, 2021, hey, you need to keep your eye on your family and feed your family that knowledge we're talking about to persevere, because we come from a long line of survivors. That's our ancestors made sure we survive, So hey, you got to do the best you can do with what you have, and what we can do as men is put in our young men how to treat women and how to treat the community, and we got to stand up and do that, and especially get the information that we didn't get, or when we was following materialism back in the 80s and whatnot. you know, this is a different group, and hopefully you'll grow out of needing a whole bunch of crap in your life and realize it's just best to put something away for the next generation. So I'm 50 and that's where I'm at with it. If you ever was to hurt mine, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go. I'll take some stripes for that one.
You know, stuff like this is a reflection of us. And I think, Master, you talked about it, Richard hit on it, and Leonard hit on it. This is a reflection of the Black man. Because it was a time where you feared coming in our community. It was a time where other people didn't even want to come in the hood, man, let alone come in the hood, take one of our children out and kill them. It was a time, I remember, and I'm not even that old, I remember when they didn't want to come in the hood. They was afraid to come in the hood. And it was because it was something about us that ain't here no more. We done lost it. And, you know, you can't say everything over the net. So you can't say everything over the internet, you know? But it was a time when even these little knuckleheads in our communities running around here, it was a time where they would get dealt with before the man saw them. Right. Before they didn't have to worry about the cops catching them is what they wanted. Because if we got them in the streets, it was a whole different conversation. And it's gone now. You know, once we let George Zimmerman walk around and do all that mess, and he never got touched. Look, like it comes a time, and Master, you were talking about the sheep earlier. You know, that word pray, right? Pray, right? Where a lot of times the sheep are being preyed upon, right? But every once in a while, them sheep become the prey, and the sheep start doing the praying. So instead of me allowing you to prey on me, I'm praying on you now. And when I'm talking about, I'm not talking about the P-R-A-Y either. I'm talking about the P-R-E-Y. Because it's gonna come a time when instead of being preyed upon, I'm gonna be the prey. I'm gonna be the hunter.
The predator.
And this is what Master you was alluding to earlier when he was talking about evil and justify. Because stuff like this, you can't tell nobody, no, don't do nothing, no. Right? Yo, like, so it just comes, it just shows that what has happened to us Black men. This is where this conversation has to go. What has happened to the Black man? What has happened to us? That stuff like this can happen and we allow it to happen. It's an indictment on us. Brother Leonard said when they was in Korea, what did them Korean men do? It's an indictment on us. We have to own this. We have to wear this. And we also have to change this. If not, it's game over. If not, this stuff will continue to happen. And we will have our youngest, our children, our future, our babies being ripped right up on our arms and being made a hashtag. And we're discussing it instead of strategizing for retribution. It's an indictment on us, family. It's an indictment on the Black man. Have we lost our balls? What has happened? This is some questions that we have to sit down and talk about. Are we that satisfied? Are we this comfortable that we have forgotten what our purpose is? And we wonder why the women are doing what they doing and not showing us respect? Hey, you gotta ask these questions. And it's heartbreaking, man. And it's also, it'll put you in a bad place. And so then somebody say, well, is it a such thing as necessary evil? Is there a such thing as, because when people say something is evil or right and wrong, it's all on the eyes of the beholder. Because sometimes I can do something that you may consider as wrong, but in my eyes, I'm justified in what I'm doing. So when you use these words and we discuss certain things, right and wrong, according to who? According to the father who just found their son that head is bashed open, ain't getting no answers of what happened? To that father, you're gonna tell him he is wrong for going out for retribution? How? How is he wrong? Again, these words is based on the eye of the beholder. And black men, we gotta do better, man. You know, I don't want to say too much more. I see we have Brother Nevada up here. I'm glad the brother jumped in. I know he coming in on the tail end. Do you want to introduce anything to the family, brother?
Can y'all hear me good?
Oh yeah, we hear you, brother.
We got you.
Peace, family. I miss everybody, man. How's everybody been?
Man, we glad
good,
to have
brother.
you, man.
Yeah.
Good.
It's surviving the pandemic. Thriving in the pandemic.
That's good. That's good. Yeah, I'm just glad to hear from everybody, man. I haven't been around in a while, but you know, we definitely got a good topic going tonight. Some important issues we definitely need to address, and I like what I heard so far. So yeah, man. It's your brother the back, man. I'm just glad to be back, and I know I came in on the tail end of it. Just now, notice that my brother sent me out a link to this meeting tonight, and so yeah, I'm not sure, you know, where we at in the meeting so far, but
Yeah. Are you familiar with? I don't know. Are you familiar with the Quawan story? Let me show. I'm gonna share my screen. This story right here about Quawan Charles, the 15-year-old boy. They found him dead. He was a 15-year-old teenager. They found him dead. They told the parents that he basically had drowned. The family don't believe it. You know, this is a picture of him. So they're trying to get a second autopsy done. You know, they said some people came and picked him up, took him to another part of town. The cops ain't telling them what really happened. So they said, you know, they comparing him to Emmett Till, man, the modern day Emmett Till. And we're just talking about it, but you know, in general, the larger context is what has happened to the black man. Like, we don't have to use his story. We can talk about anything that's been going on. You know we go back 10, 15 years. People won't come in our communities, man, and doing stuff that they doing now. Like, it was a fear. You was worried coming in the hood. Like, if you didn't know nobody, you really won't coming around. You get what I'm saying? But it's like now, my question, what happened? I think we need to do a show on that, matter of fact. That's our next show. We're going to talk about what has happened to the black man. That's our next conversation, I think.
Right.
Set that up, man. We've been up here for like an hour and a half, almost 2 hours. So we winding down, man. But I want to give y'all brothers opportunity to Let people know where they can find y'all. Y'all give y'all closing thoughts, man, comments. Family that's watching y'all, make sure y'all subscribe to NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. You can get these videos, this content, NCRBGZ Productions on YouTube. You get this content, family. But y'all can give y'all any comments, let people know where they can find you. Yeah, and that's that.
Yeah, like I said, family, I came in a little late, but y'all can look for me on Facebook. My name is Nabat Kafafuriye Amunuriye. You can see it there, hopefully on your screen. And I just look forward to the next conversation. Hopefully I can come in on time next time. Peace, guys.
I do.
Hey, hello, this is Richard, the financial advocate coming out of Arkansas. I just want to thank everybody for being a part of this important conversation regarding our families. And it's just, once again, man, we have to start these conversations in our homes. We need to get more people on here involved and get these conversations going. So, hey, thank you for a very good, interesting night and a wonderful platform. Keep up the great work, Stuart.
Peace and blessings, family. This is Leonard Walker again, Descendants of American Slaves, Political Action Committee. I can be reached on Facebook, Leonard Walker, Leonard E. Walker. You see my picture, you'll see me. I have a white shirt on with American slave symbol on the front of it. But in the months to come, real soon, we're going to be rolling out a website for Descendants of American Slaves Political Action Committee. Why is that important? Because we have to be the answer to all of our ills, plain and simple. Superman is not coming to save us. Nobody's coming out of the sky. We've been equipped to save ourselves. One of the sayings is the salvation you're looking for is at the end of your arm. All right, your own by your own hand. So my piece, like I said, our brothers, we do financial. My piece is going to be political. We want to create a voting block. All right, an independent voting block. The sister said she was a conservative, but she really doesn't associate with a party. More and more of us feel this way. There's just not an organization in place to where we can actually organize and strategize our votes. And that's just part of it. That's just part. There are other things that we can do, but this is something simple. We got so much to unpack, right? As a people, that we have to kind of do one step at a time. One of the things, there was a rap group back in the 90s, okay, called Arrested Development, okay? That perfectly describes us. Imagine a grown person, a fully developed person who's mentally, whose mental development has been arrested. We lack in financial literacy, we lack in political literacy, we lack in a lot of things culturally. So our development has been arrested. But, once we realize that, then we can start taking the steps necessary to catch up, to take control of our communities and our families and our lives. So this is what it's all about. Right now, we're in our infancy as a people, and it may not seem that way, but it is, because we don't know what we don't know, right? Therefore, is some of this information, we got to take it a step at a time. And taking it a step at a time, we can transform our communities where things like brothers and sisters, our children are not being snatched up, or even if they are not in our residential area, if they're out other places, they know not to mess with one of our children, because there's going to be something that's going to happen, right? And no, we ain't talking about, burning down Wendy's or anything. We're talking about actually finding the people who did this and making an example, right? Like I said, I don't advocate violence or anything, but at some point in time, we talk justice. These people don't fear, okay, the consequences of the Justice Department, the criminal justice department. So they have to be made to fear our community. See, so, and that, I know that sounds bad. No, people, but we know what we're talking about here. So, and again, just be looking forward, because we're gonna strategize, we're gonna organize, we're gonna unify, we're gonna strategize, and we're gonna execute. Peace.
This Kendrick Perry. I invest in myself with Trade House Investment Group. Here to help change families. Damn it, I'm on the phone. Here to change people's lives every day through the mentors, my millionaire friends, I call them. Try to impact all this, who's listening, who's aware of what's going on, which is the currency, the coronavirus, the news, the jobs, to enlighten them on, to get out of the, to come to the matrix, as I call it, because dealing with your phone all day, I call it as the matrix. You want to get yourself out of that world, with all that extra going on, and just to focus on that financial thing, which is that gap, that will fill that void, within a lot of our families, and to build back up the fatherhood within the family, So I'm gonna put my percentage in, my 2 cents in, as they call it, and try to and work with and to talk to you guys to talk to you guys and listen to you guys is a wonderful thing, man, because I could take this back to my family and friends, and who, at least to the ones who's willing to listen to me and make a change through that next step. So peace to you, all you brothers, and I definitely enjoyed the conversation with you all.
Likewise, brother. I think Master you still here? I think Master you might done tapped out, family. Yeah, family, we appreciate y'all. I thank all the panel members, everybody that came here and took the time out their busy schedule to come up here. Again, I thank everybody that's watching. We still got some people live, been watching us since the very beginning. I appreciate y'all. I give y'all a shout out, Miss Tina Renee. If you put your name in the chat, I'll shout you out real fast. But I appreciate y'all for watching, especially those that's been here since the very beginning. We will be doing this again. And at the end of the day, it's all about edification, family. We're trying to fix our problems. They say that the revolution won't be televised. I think that was before technology got to the age where we at now. Now everything's televised, to be honest. We're just trying to work out our problems and fix things, family. So we're gonna be coming to y'all. Y'all look forward to seeing these faces. We're gonna be coming back and forth. We're gonna have different conversations, different times. But at the end of the day, we all trying to edify our people. We all got our strengths. We all got our weaknesses, but together we are strong. Together we are whole. And we're gonna find a way to turn this tide and get us back the way that we're supposed to be. Y'all also subscribe to NCRB Jeezy Productions on YouTube. I can't stress that enough. I appreciate y'all. We'll catch y'all on the next show. And I'm gonna end the show with this right here. A quote that they say, it says, this is my quote, and I'm in with this one. Don't work for money. Let your money work for you. That's the end of the quote. Don't work for money. Let your money work for you. Peace, family.